So with the publication of, or at least the pre-publication of the chapter from Michael Wolff's book, Fire and Fury, which will be a major bestseller if it ever makes it to the market, we're seeing a lot of questions lately about the president's intelligence, his intellectual depth, and whether he's flat out crazy. And I wanted to present to you a model for how to think of these things. Now, I base this on, at least partly I'm informed by my experience. When I took a test called the GMAT, G-M-A-T, it's a test you take to see if you can get into a good business school. Now, one part of the test told a little story about some business situation, and then the question was, not do you remember what happened in the story, but tell us which facts in this story that had lots of facts are the ones that matter. So if you were going to take the GMATs, the test to see if you're smart enough to be a business expert, if you will, someone who has an MBA in business, they don't say facts matter. They say some matter and some don't. And you need to be able to know the difference, okay? Now, if you're a pundit and your job is to go on TV and talk about politics, I would suggest that the more facts you know, the better you are at your job. So I would say a real good pundit is someone who knows a lot of facts, because you got to spew those facts out all the time. So knowledge clearly matters. But I would say you should think of knowledge on this scale, where the dumbest people are the ones at the bottom who have no facts, or the facts they have are incorrect. So the dumbest people just have everything wrong. They have no facts. And if you're a person who has facts, it's really easy to recognize these people. You can tell who doesn't have any facts. But I would suggest that you can tell from your own experience that these people don't necessarily think these people are smarter. All right? So that's one of the interesting aspects of intelligence, that the people who are smarter can tell with a lot of certainty that dumb people are dumb. But dumb people, because they're dumb, can't tell that someone is smarter than them. They might know that that person went to a better school or, knows more facts. But you will find that the people everywhere on the scale say that the people who are clearly above them are really stupid in some way or not. Now here's the part I want to introduce that is the provocative part. I believe the highest level of intelligence is knowing what matters. Because not all facts are equal. And if you know what matters, you can be insanely effective without knowing a lot of facts. So that on the scale of intelligence, the dumbest people don't know any facts. The people who are far, far smarter know a lot of facts. And the people who are the smartest, at least in terms of effectiveness, are the ones who can tell which ones matter. Now, if you watch the coverage of the president from the enemy press, the ones who don't like him, they're almost completely locked in to this level. They do have facts, and when their facts conflict with his facts, or they believe he doesn't know the same facts they do, they feel smart because they know more facts. Okay? But let's take some examples. They knew it was a fact. I'll just take you back in history a little bit. You're all tired of the history, but you remember when everybody said the president needs to spend more money to get the result he needs. That was like a fact, all right? It seemed like a fact, but he didn't, and it worked out fine, because the president knew, apparently, that he didn't need to do that. If you look at, let's say, ISIS, and we had a president come into office who everybody who knows a lot of facts, especially if they knew a lot of facts about ISIS, would tell you, you really ought to know a lot of facts. You can't be making these life and death decisions without knowing the whole landscape. I mean, you really need to nail your facts if you're going to send people out to die, right? That just seems common sense. President Trump came in, and I wasn't in the room, but so I'll sort of paraphrase what I imagine happened. Something like this. Who's the best general? Well, General Mattis, General Mattis, General Mattis. Does everybody agree among you generals that General Mattis would be a great general? Yeah, we all agree. He'd be great at this. Okay, I hired General Mattis. General Mattis, tell me what I need to know about ISIS. General Mattis starts telling them about which groups are against which groups and which cities are being attacked and in what state and all this. And the president says, whoa, 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 whoa. I don't need to know all that. I just don't need to know all that. Tell me what's wrong that we could fix to get the result we want, which is less ISIS. And then one imagines, and again, this is just, I'm doing this only as an example of how the facts matter and when they don't. You can imagine General Mattis saying, look, here's what we need. We need you to say, we're never going to leave, so the bad guys know they can't wait us out, and our side knows that this is a fight to win. Second, we need you to loosen our rules of engagement so that we can do what we need to do to get it done. Now the president knows almost nothing about ISIS. He doesn't know the name of the city that's being attacked. He doesn't know which group of, partisans are on which side and they're switching every day. He might not know that Assad is backing these people or bombing these people. He may not know what the Russians are doing. Then he went out and beat the snot out of ISIS because he knew which facts mattered, right? Take the economy. If you were an economist and you knew a lot about facts, you would say to yourself, my God, this president is taking credit for the stock market and the strong economy when every economist will tell you that most of the facts would suggest that Obama got things going and that really it's sort of an Obama economy for the first year of the new administration. You could argue that those are the facts. President Trump says, let me tell you what matters. What matters is consumer confidence. What matters is business confidence. So I'm going to cut regulations like crazy and tell everybody I'm cutting regulations. Well, do you understand all these regulations you're cutting, Mr. President? Not in detail, but watch what happens. Consumer confidence through the roof. Business confidence through the roof. Economy going to a new level. Did it matter that President Trump ignored what the economist would have called some facts he needed to know or needed to adhere to or needed to claim were true? He did not. He simply knew what mattered. He knew that psychology drives economics, and that if you got the few things right you need to for psychology, you get economics. Okay? So in all of the big issues, you can see that if they're big and complicated, that he just finds the thing that matters. Take the Paris Climate Accord. Does the president know everything that you should know about science related to climate change? No, he does not. Has he made the effort to dig in and learn at least as much as he can? I don't know. Probably not. Was he still able to make a decision on the Paris Climate Accord without any of that base knowledge about the science? Yes, because the Climate Accord was an agreement, and he understands agreements, and the agreement was a bad one. How many facts did you need to know that the United States was paying most of the money, but the other people were doing creating most of the problem and weren't going to stop? You didn't really need to know a lot of facts to get the Climate Accord decision right. Now, could there be a problem with this method when you get to stuff like, real decisions about what to do about climate change? Yes, there absolutely could be. I'm not suggesting that this means that these people are always right and these people are always wrong. That would be crazy. What we have is what I'd call a pricey president, meaning that President Trump can probably get things done that regular politicians cannot. He just has a different kind of game, different kind of everything. But there may be things that happen along the way that we don't love. That's the pricey part. So if you look at the whole picture, you can pick out what you care about and say, all right, is that good enough for the pricey part of this president? He's not free. He comes with a big price tag.